All right, it's 11:03 and that's our standard start time. We wait a few minutes for everyone to come in. First of all, welcome. My name is Linda Zangrilli. I'm the chapter chair for SCORE Bucks County. And we are excited today, first of all, to have so many people who are interested in this topic. We realize it's a hot topic and we're excited for all of you to hear our speaker. First of all, just a few housekeeping items. We are recording this. You will get a copy of the recording. You will also get a copy of the slides. And in addition to that, please hold your questions till the end. Use the Q&A. And at the end of the session, our seminar chair will address all of the questions that are in the Q&A box. Okay, so without further ado, I'd just like to talk to you just for a couple of minutes about SCORE, what we do, who we are. For those of you who are not familiar, we are a national nonprofit organization. We have some 350 chapters across the United States with about 13,000 members. We have one very simple mission: to help small business start, grow, and succeed. We are a resource partner of the Small Business Administration. Here in Bucks County, we serve all of Bucks County as well as Eastern Montgomery County. We have some 70 members who come from all walks of life and have varied backgrounds in all areas of expertise. We offer free mentoring services and free seminars such as the one you're about to hear. So if you're interested in getting a mentor, we're happy to help. There's no charge for our sessions. You can have a mentor for 5 sessions or 50 sessions. There are no time limits on it. If you'd also like to join us as a member and volunteer your time to help small business grow, please visit our website for both clients and members. Visit our website at buckscounty.score.org. And I'm sure that we'll put that in the information that you'll get. So without further ado, I'd like to first welcome the gentleman who is responsible for putting all of these wonderful programs together for SCORE. His name is Ed Torello. He's a former Wall Street tycoon, I'll call you.
Never only true.
who has recently joined the executive committee of SCORE Bucks County and has put together a wonderful full calendar of programs just like this that you're about to hear. So Ed, would you like to take it from here?
Yeah. Thank you very much, Linda, and thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate it. I'm just going to tell you that this is one of 35 programs that we've put together for our fiscal year, which is September to September, or October 1st to October 1st. And next year, which we're working on right now, we've put together 40 of them. So most of them different than the ones for this year. And we do keep some of the ones such as cash flow and things like that. We always keep those. People need that. And without further ado, I want to introduce, I think, which is going to be an extremely interesting webinar. We have Kelsey Jordan, who's a board member of the Newtown Business Association. But more importantly, she's the founder and creator and creative director of KGD Films. And she's made it her goal, she feels, that video should be accessible and affordable for small businesses, all while keeping their look professional and sustainable. She feels also that small businesses need a way to step up their marketing game. She is confident that video is the answer. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Kelsey, and she's going to give the presentation. Also, if you have questions, you click on the question thing, and at the end, I will ask all the questions of Kelsey. Thank you.
Wonderful. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kelsey Jordan of KGD Films. Thank you so much to SCORE Bucks County and the team over there for helping me set up this presentation today. I've really been looking forward to it. So basically, KGD Films is a video production company that helps create video content for small businesses that they can use on their social media platforms. Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about video, but we're mostly going to talk about photos and captions And we're going to come up by the end of this presentation, you'll have 30 social media posts in your pocket ready to go for the next 30 days. So just kind of before we get into those 30 posts, I just want to kind of break down what we're going to go over today and a few things to keep in mind. We'll go over these 30 posts in about 30 minutes. Then I'll spend 15 or so minutes breaking down a few general tips that will help improve and elevate those 30 posts so that they're actually effective. And then, as was previously mentioned, we'll have plenty of time for Q&A. No need to take notes, as also was mentioned. Just a reminder, you will receive the slides and you can actually use as your content schedule, as a reference in the future. These posts, if you break them down, are going to be about 75% educational content for your customers, your consumers, and your followers. 15% I'll call fun, and 10% sales. And while that may be a little jarring, sales I kind of reserve for your Facebook ads, your ad campaigns and things like that. We're talking specifically about the content you post on your page to educate, entertain, and delight your customers. And another note, you may hear me kind of repeat throughout the presentation, here's an example of what a lawyer might do, and here's an example of what a florist might do. That's kind of because I think you may fit in the middle, but generally you either have your business creates a physical product like a restaurant, a florist, a jewelry designer, or you have a storefront, a boutique, something like that. Or that lawyer camp, which is lawyers, doctors, people who work in tech, where you don't really have a concrete physical product, a little bit more in the air. Now, I have to admit, the people in the florist camp have an easier time because at the end of the day, you can always take a picture of your product and post that with a great caption. A little bit of an added challenge for lawyers and doctors and people who just don't have a physical item they can display in their social media content. But we're going to make sure we address each of the 30 posts for both camps. So rest assured, if all 30 don't fit exactly what your business does, I guarantee about 25 to 28 of these will. So regardless of what you do, you should be rocking and rolling with 30 posts. So before we get started really quick, can everyone just take a short moment or a handful of people to let me know what types of businesses are represented on the call today? I would love to just get an idea of what you all do for a living, why you're here today, and what you're hoping to see. Staffing, insurance, print and marketing, yarn, landscape, wonderful. Okay, great. So it's a whole spectrum, which is perfect. Marketing, mobile gaming, interior design, wonderful. Okay, and then as you guys are typing that, that's very helpful. Charlie, if you don't mind just popping up the poll, my second question is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable are you in using social media for business, outside of your personal life? How about as far as okay, great. Great, we got a nice mix here. That's perfect. And this presentation is really geared towards everyone. It's primarily geared towards people who haven't really stepped into the world of social media too much, but if you feel like you're very experienced, you're still going to walk away with 30 posts that you can use on a day where you just can't come up with anything else to put out there on social media. Because I think sometimes that's the most difficult part, is actually coming up with what to post. You have time to post, you want to post, but what am I going to post about? So that's great. We've got a little bit of everyone here on the call today. Okay, so let's jump right into the 30 posts. Let's see here. The backstory of your business name. That's going to be post number 1 we're going to do. So you're going to want to grab a photo of your logo, whether it's on the sign on your storefront. If you don't have a storefront, you maybe had promotional mugs made, or you've sent out a direct mailer. Grab a photo of your logo on something, a nice, neat photo with a pretty background, and talk about the backstory of your business. How did you start? Why did you choose the name? If the name of your business is your name, why did you choose to do that? What do you do? And just something interesting about your business's name and logo. You can really take this in any direction you want. And this is something everyone can do because everyone's business has a name. Number 2, your second post is going to be a picture of your to-do list for the day and a cup of coffee. Sounds kind of silly, but there's a method behind the madness. So take it, that morning when you're getting ready, and whether your to-do list is digital or on a piece of paper, you're just going to take a quick photo of your day getting started and a post about, what you're doing that day. You don't have to show exactly what's on your list. It can be, you can get creative with what this looks like. But basically, the reason you're posting this is to remind people that you're organized, you're working, what upcoming events you may have, what you have on the docket. This is a great way to get your customers and your followers interested and excited about the fact that every day you are up and doing a new thing. You're fulfilling orders, you're networking, whatever it is. Now, here I obviously have a stock photo from above. That's quite difficult for us to do, particularly if you're a solopreneur, you're working from home. I'm going to speak to some equipment we can use to get some creative shots at the end. That's very affordable. But also this, I encourage you to just use your smartphone, whether it's a selfie, whether you just kind of have your hand in the photo and you're not in it. There's a bunch of different ways we can get creative with this photo. Okay, post number 3, your equipment that you're going to be using. If you work in a medical office, if you are a jewelry designer, you have equipment that's very specific to your line of work that people have never seen before. They don't know what it does. And it's good for your followers to know that that this equipment exists and you have access to it. They may need it. If you really only use a phone and a laptop for your equipment for your business, take a photo of your phone and your laptop, where you take it, how you transport it, or even an app or a tool that is your go-to on your phone. If your line of business, if you use a specific app on your phone, take a photo of that app on your screen, or screen grab it and talk about why you use it. It's just, again, reinforcing to your followers that you are a leader in your industry. You know what you're doing. You have the tools necessary to complete the work in your field. And how does that tool benefit your business? And then on top of that, how does that tool benefit your customer? So this picture gives you a whole slew of options of captions you can include with the photo. Number 4, testimonial. These are very important. And the nice thing about this is something you can replicate. It doesn't have to be just one post. So whether you are a brand new business with no reviews, or you have a Google My Business page with 300 reviews, you can use this to your advantage. If you have no reviews, reach out to a family friend or someone who's willing to write a testimonial on your behalf. This doesn't have to be on Google, on Yelp. It can just be an email they send to you, but get someone to write something on your behalf about your product, about your business. I know people are very reticent at times to include a photo of themselves, but if you can encourage the person who gives the testimonial to include a photo of themselves, you get bonus points. Because if you can create something like this, where you actually see the human being who said the positive thing about your business next to them, it's going to make your followers, your consumers, see themselves in that person much more than just text on a screen would. If the text is just awesome and the person is not interested in having their photo, that's fine too. To make something that looks like this, I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, well, I have no way of creating something like this unless you have a graphic designer on staff. Use a tool like Canva, where there's kind of pre-formulated templates. You can pop something like this right in. It's very, very easy and free. So testimonials, and I should mention too, if you do have 300 Google reviews, replicate this. Start to do this once a month. Put out those testimonials, and they're just great to have on hand too for your website, to send out in email marketing as well. So they kind of serve a double purpose. Number 5, post number 5 is going to be Throwback Thursday. Now this is a little bit old school, a little bit passe, but I think it's actually an incredible tool for businesses to use for 2 reasons. One, you can post one of your proudest moments as a business owner as a throwback. So you get to relive and repost really major moments in your business's history. And you kind of have an excuse to do it because it's Throwback Thursday. The other reason you can use this Throwback Thursday is to, like the image I have on the screen here of this gym, This photo has kind of old school televisions and old school equipment. You can tell this is an older photo, but this actual gym still exists today. So for this gym to post this now, demonstrates they've been around the block. They know what they're doing. They've, updated and upgraded through the ages and will continue to do so. So it just reinforces how long you've been around. It establishes you as a business. Even if you've only been open a year, look back at the beginning of you starting your business and throw back. So it gives you an opportunity to kind of rehash the past a little bit and post something you're proud of, or post your progress. So definitely recommend this as a tool, even though I know the phrase Throwback Thursday is a little tired. I think for businesses, it's a great tool. Okay, post number 6 is packaging and products. And I do see somebody said, is this a good order to go through? I will touch on that, but no, this can be rearranged in any order you'd like, except for a few, which I will make sure to mention. Packaging and products. If you sell a physical product or you have really attractive wrapping, make sure you photograph it, show it off. If you have a big order and somebody picked up 12 boxes, line them all up on the counter, nice and pretty, and grab a photo. If you don't sell a physical product, think about a big stack of mailers you're about to send out, or a shot on the website, or a project that you just completed, or a major class you just offered, or a webinar. Whatever you do, grab a photo and show your product, and make it as attractive as you can. Number 7, I'm going to call this one Share the Love. So this is a really easy one to do too on a day where you just cannot come up with anything to post about. You've got not much going on. All your projects are halfway completed. There's nothing to share. Shout out a business owner that's either a friend of yours, that's somebody you look up to, that is somebody who is a leader in your industry. Repost something they've posted that you thought was really interesting, really important, or if you have a Main Street business, post your next door neighbor something they've posted. Give them a shout out. Let your followers know why you love them or why you're shouting them out. And you kind of get 2 benefits from this. One, it makes you look really well connected, whether it's in like your local community or in your industry online. And 2, it gives your friend a boost, gives that business a boost. So share the love. And an app like Regram is an easy way to do this. The app, literally, you just pick the photo and the app will put that little black image you see at the bottom, who was originally posted, and creates all the text for you. It's a great tool. And again, I believe a free tool. So post number 8, a candid shot. And I know this is where everyone's going to sign off and go, no, thank you. But I highly recommend asking a friend or using a self-timer on your phone to take a photo of you doing what you do. I picked this photo specifically because, and I'm going back to my 2 examples here of a lawyer and a florist. A lawyer, everything is on paper. Much of it is things you can't share with the public. But take a photo of you on the phone, typing on your computer, going through files, pulling a book down from the shelf, something in progress, something candid. You're not looking at the photo. It's not a professional headshot. If you're a florist, you're arranging flowers in a vase. If you're a yoga instructor, you're in a pose. So talk about what you do for a living and how much you love it with that candid photo. I know being on camera is uncomfortable, but people love to see your face. I see it time and time and time again. The top posts on business pages are the posts with people's faces in them. As much as we all don't want to be on camera, it's a necessary evil. Number 9, an FAQ. FAQs are another great source of unlimited posts and videos. Think about the questions that you are asked ad nauseum. Which things do you respond to over and over again? It can be as simple as, where do I park to come meet you? Or it can be, for the example here, how do I revive my dead grass if you're a landscaping company? People probably ask these questions over and over and over. So use that to your advantage. Explain to them how to revive dead grass. What's your little giveaway tip you give, or direct them to where on your website they can get those answers or sign up for some sort of consultation or meeting with you where you can answer those questions on paid time. the hope, and also make sure that at the end of these posts, you're asking people to ask more questions in your comment section. That way you can create more posts from their comments, you're fostering engagement, and you're kind of figuring out what your customers do want from you. What do they want to know? So this one works kind of a few different ways, but it's really helpful because you can always, on a day where, again, when you just don't know what to post, think of an FAQ and either post a picture of it or potentially respond to it with a video. We'll get to that a little bit later. Number 10. This one is going to seem really silly and fun, and to your consumers, to your followers, it's going to sound like you didn't put that much effort into it, but this one's got a lot of method behind the madness, if I say that again. So if you are in a specific industry and there's a lot of reading material, lots of books or documentaries or TV shows about what you do, and you watch one that you enjoy and that you feel like your customers should hear about, shout them out. It allows you to tag that book, that author, and potentially open up your online following to a whole, like basically you can have access to a whole new potential audience by tagging them and linking your 2 pages. It also just shows that you're continuing your education. You're always trying to learn more, to be better, to be at the top of your industry, to be aware of what's current, what's now in whatever you do. So just be sure too that you're tagging things you shout out, always tagging and hashtagging it. Again, we'll speak a little bit about hashtags at the end. But in this example here, this woman's a gardener who's shouting out a gardener friend's books, and now their 2 garden followings kind of can intermingle and find out about maybe the other one they hadn't heard of before. So this is a great way. It seems like you're just keeping it light and sharing a fun fact, but in actuality, there's a lot more working behind the surface. It's really opening you up to a new customer base. Number 11, recent success. This is whatever a recent successful project that you've just completed, a big order, landing a large deal, potentially saving a customer quite a bit of money, whatever it is, post a photo. Again, if it's sort of intangible, you can, not in the times we live in now, but it can be a photo of a handshake or something like I have on screen now. People standing far apart, waiting and looking at the screen, but you see they've got their logo in the background. People look happy. There's balloons. Stage something fun like this to promote, the success of a recent project. Number 12. I'm going to get into video a little bit here. Post a video day. My favorite day. I cannot say enough good things about posting video for social media content. As consumers, we all just eat it up. So why not get in on the fun on the other side? So post a video under a minute long. That way you can use it on whatever platform you're looking to use it on, about an exciting upcoming project. This is sort of similar to the last one, but it's a future project where you can kind of give people a little insight into what's coming up next. It can be as simple as you changed out the planters in the front of your store and you want to show them off. It can be as big a deal as you're adding a new employee to your staff. Whatever it is, let's just talk about something upcoming that's fun, exciting, and that your customers will love to hear more about. A sale. So this is kind of going into that 10% of sales posts. Let people know what you're offering right now. Is it be very upfront and big with it? Is it a discount code? Is it a new service? Did you add new items to your menu? This one specifically, if there's anyone that you're not going to use a stock photo on, please don't use a stock photo on this post. The combination of a stock photo and sales language, they're going to fly right past it. Everyone is so used to seeing ads on their social media feeds. They can see one a mile away. But if you use an iPhone, a smartphone photo, something that looks like a human took it of another human, they're going to pause and you might get them to read that caption that has your discount code. And be sure to have a very clear call to action on this post. So if it's redeeming 10% off and you posted this on Instagram, let's just say, make sure you tell them exactly how to complete the sale. Where do they need to go next? And all of these should have call of actions at the end, which we'll speak a bit in general about at the end, but especially your sales content should have a strong, clear call to action at the end. Okay, number 14, post number 14. We're halfway through the month almost. Share some advice. Give away a little bit, not the whole boat. Here's my lawyers and florists again. Lawyers can tell people how to protect themselves from X, Y, or Z. And florists can tell people how to keep flowers alive for an extra few days by doing X, Y, Z. Whatever it is, give away a great fun fact tip, something where you really educate the consumer. And just because they saw your post, they've learned something. That's the key. Now, this is one of the ones where it matters where you put it in the month, because our next post number 15, is going to be a follow-up to that first one. Now, this, again, is kind of a little sneaky, a little tricky, but I think it's fair game. Even if nobody saw your last post, nobody commented, nobody liked, nobody said this is great or asked a question, it doesn't matter. We're going to follow up with a video the following day where you do a deeper dive on the same topic. And your caption will begin with something along the lines of, I received a few great questions yesterday about the advice I gave. I'm going to go into a little further detail for those of you that are interested. And nobody has to know that nobody asked. Maybe they had sent you a private message. Maybe they emailed you or called you or came into your store and asked. Doesn't matter. This is just a great opportunity to say, my followers want more of this. So do a deeper dive on the photo you took yesterday in video form the following day. Depending on what you do, it can be 30 seconds, 60 seconds. If it's something very complicated and you have the time and you're willing to give away the information, do 10 minutes, whatever you want. Again, be aware of the time restrictions on each different social media platform. But explain away. I think giving away educational content like this is just the key to social media. You want to educate your customers, and by educating them, they know for sure you're an industry leader in your field. You know what you're talking about. Number 16 is a giveaway. The giveaway can be as simple as a free 15-minute phone consult, and they don't have to know that you do that anyways on your website, or it can be a bigger deal. Something where you potentially even team up with other businesses to give a group of things away. Being mindful of the social media every social media platform has some rules as to what you can and can't ask of people who participate in a giveaway. So be wary of those rules. Those are things you can look up on Google. They're pretty straightforward, but they do vary platform to platform. But give something away. Ask people to tag a friend as an entry, or look at 3 different people's pages if you want to team up. So if you're a nutritionist and you want to give away a free 30-minute consult, reach out to the health food store down the street, see if they'll give a basket of fruit away, and the gym down the street, and see if they'll give away a 15-minute stretching session, and join up. That way, all 3 of you are getting the benefits from this giveaway, and the winner of the giveaway feels like they really got a significant prize for the fact that they participated in your giveaway and followed whatever rules you asked of them. Tagging friends, liking, sharing, whatever it is, whatever you ask them to do. Number 17, closing the deal. It's another little sales post here. It doesn't have to be super salesy, but did you help someone save a little bit of money? Maybe you did something charitable. Did you bake 500 donuts for a local hospital? Whatever you did, something big, let people know. And at the same time, gently remind them in maybe the secondary sentence in the caption, if they want what's being discussed in this post, what would it cost them? How would they go about getting it? Some people do publicize their fees, some people don't. If you do, put that right in the body of the caption. And again, don't forget that call to action. Try and get people to take advantage of an offer that somebody else just took advantage of. Number 18 here. This is a fun post. Again, you're going to post a photo of your day off. And I know days off don't really exist for small business owners, but maybe we'll talk about your hour off. Whether it's your company-wide trip to a bowling alley and you're all kind of doing a team bonding event, or you're just winding down with a glass of wine at the end of the night by your fire, share that. I know this is one of those few where maybe if you work in a very serious professional setting, depending on the way you present yourself online, this may be one you want to skip if this feels too casual for you. The photo I have here, I just want to kind of explain what I mean by this. This is a woman who creates macrame. someone who kind of creates these macrame hangers and things like that. And this was her post on Easter saying she was hanging out with her kitten. And what I thought was pretty genius, whether she meant to or not, is she was illustrating that she was taking the day off, but also had her product right in the image. So it was kind of a fun post. There was no selling element, but without her realizing it, you know, those pretty Easter colors mixed with her cute cat ends up being quite a nice ad. So that's kind of a fun one there. Number 19, continuing your education, whether you're taking a webinar like this, whether you have a new certification, you go back to school, whatever in your industry is considered continuing your education, take a photo. If you have a physical certificate, something like in the photo here, take a selfie with it, have a friend take a photo of you with it, whatever it is, share it, do it. I think it's a great way, once again, to reinforce that you are always learning, you're always keeping up with the current trends in your line of work. Number 20. So you remember a few posts back, we had our giveaway, our contest. Who is the winner? We got to shout them out. We got to make sure people know we followed through on what we were offering. And this is great because this concept gives us 2 posts for the month. So one less to think about. The perfect way to announce your giveaway winner is this image right here. A smiling, happy person with a physical gift who potentially can give a small testimonial while they're there about how much fun the giveaway was or why they love your business. If you can't get something like this because, again, maybe you're giving away a 15-minute consult or whatever, make sure you at least ask the person permission to use their first name, last initial maybe, and maybe write a small, maybe they'll say a small thank you, or you could screen grab a piece of their email thanking you for the win, something along those lines. But definitely announce your giveaway winner. Number 21, shout out a team member. Whether it's an admin assist or somebody who writes all your blog posts, make sure you're shouting them out. Put up a nice photo of them or their professional headshot, a small bit from their bio, and just let people know who your team members are. Post number 22, this is like the basics. If you were to write a classic newspaper ad, what information would you need to include? Your hours, your rates, your location, what you offer, and a great, bright, cheery photo. So, something like this where it's your storefront, it's a beautiful, cozy looking day, and what you offer, where are you located? How can people come and purchase your product? This is something too that I would consider boosting maybe with ad dollars or recreating this for your Facebook ad campaigns. You can kind of go either way on that one. So this is a great piece, and this is one that you can use time and time again. Swap out the image, but keep the same caption and post it once every 2 months or once a month even. This is a great one that you can kind of use over and over again and tweak. 23, hometown pride. Now, my guess is the vast majority of us are in the general greater Philadelphia area. So whether your business is specifically targeted at your local, your local Main Street hometown, if that's who your target audience is, then shout out your local hometown. If your audience is nationwide, let's say you ship nationwide or you fly around the world, you can also let your customers in California know what it's like where your office is located. And again, if you work from home, take a great picture of your desk, or the next time you grab a cup of coffee downtown, grab a shot, kind of like the one visible here, and just let people know, why you chose this place as your home base for your business. Number 24, post number 24. We're getting close here. And then I'm going to take a huge sip of water. Networking post. Grab a screen grab of something like today, where you took time out of your schedule to either meet with people, learn something, whatever. Now, what I will just say is obviously the image I have here is faces, several people's faces. Just make sure, just to be, careful of people's feelings about being posted on the internet. Make sure you have people's permission before you post their face and their full name on the internet. Like, for example, today, if you were to take a screen grab, please feel free to screen grab my face away. Just try to avoid it. Don't post me if I'm blinking, but take a shot of the slide and my face and talk about what you learned today. And the key is tag Bucks County SCORE, so that we can start to build, if 20 of you were to post this webinar today and tag SCORE, they get a nice boost from it. You start to create a community of people that you could meet online and connect with over the fact that you both attended the same event, networking, or webinar, or whatever. So it's a really great way to kind of meet people online and expand your audience that way. Okay, self-timer again. Once again, it's a picture of you doing what you love, talking about why you love it. It can be pulling a medical reference book off your shelf. It can be greeting your vegetable supplier at your door. Whatever you're doing, grab a photo of it, have a friend take a picture, or use a self-timer. You have to be in it. I'm very sorry. You have to do it. It's painful, but you need to be in your photos. It really helps with branding and humanizing your business. Number 26, FAQ round 2. You're going to do yet another frequently asked question. Please feel free to use some of these as themes. You could kind of take this schedule that we're working on today and replicate it each month by changing them slightly. So FAQs are always a great post. And this is a great example too of if you don't really have anything visual to demonstrate the answer to your question, create nice little branded pieces of content using, again, that app I mentioned earlier, Canva, C-A-N-V-A. It's a great free tool. It's essentially a simplified internet-based version of Photoshop. We have tons of great templates. So use something like that to create your FAQs and do, a slide with the question, a slide with an answer. And again, encourage people to ask more questions in the comments section. Number 27 here, how do you solve a problem? Every business solves a problem. That's what businesses are. You tell people what problem you solve, how you solve it, and why you're the best person to solve their problem. So a photo like this, maybe with text above it, or you can include the text in the caption below. This is very clear. Disaster restoration. We repair water damaged homes. Question answered. I now know who to go to when I have water damage. So let people know how you solve their problem. Number 28, if you have a newsletter, if you've started one, if you don't, this one you are going to have to skip. But if you have a newsletter sign up, encourage people to sign up for your newsletters. It can be just simply reminding people that you have one and maybe how often you email them. That way they know they're only signing up for a monthly newsletter or a weekly newsletter. Or if you really want to encourage them, you can give something away for free. If you sign up for my newsletter, you can get 10% off X, Y, or Z, or you can get this downloadable PDF if you sign up, whatever it is. Encourage people to sign up for your newsletters. Number 29, web traffic. It's kind of similar to newsletters, but let's push people to your site. Do you have a blog that you keep updated? Do you have, did you update your About Me page or About Us page? Did you add new menu items? Do you have a new employee on staff that you'd like to introduce? Encourage people to head to the site to learn more. And rather than just using a screen grab of your site, there are tons of stock images like this on the internet. This is one instance where I'm okay with stock images. Take the screen grab of your website and place it on a tablet, a phone, or a desktop. There are tons of these available online, both for free and paid. And have somebody help you, kind of make it look legitimate and real. This one, you might need a little bit of help from a graphic designer or something if this is not something you're particularly handy at. But definitely send people to your site. And the last final post, 30 posts down, I want you to post a professional headshot of yourself or a really pretty, inspiring picture that has to do with your business, and talk to people earnestly about what you do, why you do it. I truly get so much joy from helping small businesses learn how to compete online with those bigger businesses that have the bigger budgets that just dominate with their ad sales. The things that we have going for us are customer service, attention to detail, the willingness to respond to comments. So let's show that online. Let's make that the thing that we're kind of, we may not have those the ad campaign budgets that the bigger companies, our bigger competitors have, but we do have attention to detail and customer service and the connection to the local community. So put that all in a post, put your kind of, bleeding heart caption on a picture of you, and that's your 30th post. So we've made it through all 30. What I want to do very quickly here, so that we still have plenty of time for questions, is a couple things to consider in general, which may answer a few of your questions. Every post should have some form of a call to action. We've discussed that, whether it's learn more, sign up, call, email, click the link in our bio, check out my last post, answer a question in the comments, hit the like button, whatever it is, call to action. Okay, and then some of you who are very familiar with hashtags, you will probably understand this, but if you are not particularly proficient with hashtags, or you've never quite understood what they are, think about them like file folders. If you took your picture of your fresh bouquet that's up for sale today, what file folders would you put that picture in? Bouquet, vase, the name of your hometown, the colors of the bouquet, whatever they are, use those as hashtags. Choose social media platforms that are good for you. You don't have to be on every single one. You could be on just Instagram, just LinkedIn, whatever it is. Use emojis, even if you work in a very serious professional setting. You don't have to use the pink hearts and the octopus and the smiley face. You can use the arrows, the phone, the laptop emoji, all those very more serious, professional, funny enough looking emojis are great because they can help keep short snippets of your text. They can make them stand out by kind of putting emojis on either side. And keep captions short. People don't like to read, unfortunately. Unless you're doing something very educational and you want to write out steps to do something, then feel free, write a full thing. But in general, keep them nice and short. Last few things here are try to include people in as many photos as possible. Even if it's just your hand holding the mug, that's better than just the mug. People want to see other people. Avoid using stock photography. We've talked about that, or at least modify it. To remember to set up, if you have trouble remembering to post, set up alerts and reminders in your phone calendar to post. You can even think of the caption, throw it in the notes section of your phone calendar, and just copy and paste at a later date. And then finally, I know it's painful, but you have to be in your photos. I cannot stress that enough. People want to see you. So briefly here, last slide. I just want to go through some affordable equipment. Everything you see on this screen, you could probably get for less than $100, but definitely can get for less than $200. The phone holder with the squiggly arm and the kind of clamp, that is very helpful for taking things with a self timer or putting a camera in a corner of your office or your home that may not, be able to prop your phone up. I use it every single day. Highly recommend. Great for video too. And then the other thing you need is a ring light if you can afford it. They're great. They just make you look a little bit brighter, happier. They kind of flush out anything you don't love about your face. They're a great tool to have on hand and just, help make your space look a little bit prettier. Third is a smartphone microphone. If you're planning on doing video bits and you don't love the quality of the sound when you're recording a video, this mic right here, it's a Rode mic. It's a nicer brand. It's about $75. And as you can see, that little piece at the bottom fits right into an iPhone. There's plenty of Android options available and cheaper options too in that same type of thing. And then finally, a social media scheduler app. There are tons out there. Hootsuite, I know, is a very popular one. But Facebook itself, if your main sites are on our Facebook and Instagram, use the Creator Studio. It's right within Facebook itself already. You don't have to pay for an additional tool, and you can schedule posts. So that way, maybe you only have to think about this a couple times a month instead of remembering to post every single day. So I know I just threw a lot of information at you, but I am happy to answer questions. And thank you so much for your attention today. I really appreciate it, and I hope these are helpful. And I look forward to seeing some of your posts very shortly on the internet.
Great. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate the presentation, Kelsey. I just want to let our listeners know again, as Linda has said, the presentation will be sent out to you and also the slides. So you don't have to have taken notes because everything is written down for you. Now I'm going to take a look at some of the questions here to see Isn't a giveaway different from a contest? That's one
Yes,
question.
a little bit interchangeable. So when I'm saying giveaway, I mean, yes, a contest where you would offer followers the chance at a prize, essentially a raffle. And if you follow steps 1, 2, and 3, you are entered into the raffle to win something. And those steps can be whatever you choose, tagging friends, sharing, liking, whatever you ask them to do. And there are several tools online you can use to build those giveaways if you want some help.
Okay. Can this methodology be used for crowdfunding? We are a nonprofit that performs theater for free to those without access. We are about to launch a campaign. What do you think?
It's definitely as far as crowdfunding goes, because rather than your call to action being purchase this product, it's donate to our efforts or check out the latest production that we've put on. You can take that language, that call to action language, and target it and tailor it to exactly what you want your followers to do or to see.
Okay. This is from the same person. It says, how do we increase our social media reach? We do not have anyone consistent in our social media department and do not have many followers or likes. So obviously they have to build a whole repertoire of people. I guess she's asking, how do I start?
Yeah, the unfortunate, not fun answer to your question is consistency. The more consistent you are with posting, the more you're going to see those numbers rise. As far as following up, you definitely follow other people, like-minded people online, engage with their posts. But unfortunately, it's consistency. It's remembering to post. But definitely, if you don't have someone consistent there, use a scheduler tool. You can spend one day a month. You can spend several hours on one day prepping, and maybe you can't do 30 posts a month. That's okay, but maybe 3 posts a week, 2 posts a week that you can schedule out for the month. And that way you kind of don't have to think about it except for when your phone buzzes because you got a comment or a like and you want to respond to that person. It makes life a little easier.
Okay. Rita has a question. How can I specifically modify this info for an e-commerce platform / online store?
So that is a whole other webinar in and of itself, because there are some amazing tools between your online kind of retail POS Shopify systems and how they interact with Instagram and Facebook. You can actually tag your products on social media platforms that will take people right to the product page. So definitely kind of speak to whoever hosts your e-commerce platform and see if they have any tips on integrating that with social media platforms, because that's a great way to kind of skip the middleman of having someone to having them go to your website. They can just click right on the image and it takes them to the product page.
Okay. Could you please remind me of the online tool for design help?
Canva, Canva. And there's a free version and a paid version, but I love Photoshop. I use Photoshop regularly, and I have to admit, Canva does a really nice job.
Okay. Now here's one. How to decide which media to use?
I guess as far as which images to post.
Right, I would think.
Yeah, I would say the key is, I really do believe, taking the photos yourself. Even if they're with a phone, not a professional camera, that's completely fine. People sometimes actually prefer it because it looks less like an advertisement and more like somebody showing something real, something legitimate. So as far as choosing like which ones, something I sometimes do is, if I'm looking to create a specific type of post, I go to Instagram or Pinterest and try to search the hashtags I might use and see what other people are doing. And sometimes that sparks an idea.
Here's an interesting one. This person is a podcaster and I guess does YouTube also. How do I grow my following? That's an interesting one.
Definitely. I know many podcasters, obviously your show is on a podcast platform, and then you would have social media sites that would encourage people to go check out that podcast. It really kind of comes down to the same thing. Maybe, if let's just say, if you're a true crime podcaster, there is a huge true crime podcast community online. Tap into that community, search those hashtags, find like-minded people to follow, engage with them, comment on their things. And sure enough, you'll start to see people who go, oh, hey, that kind of looks like this fits in that category too. I got to check that out. So just forming those online relationships through engaging with other like-minded business owners and podcasters, I think is a great first step.
Okay, here's one. Could you please repeat the Facebook tip?
As far as the schedule, I'm thinking they mean the scheduler.
Right.
It's called Creator Studio, and it's if you've heard of Hootsuite or some of these other tools where you can schedule out your posts for the future, Facebook's actually just kind of somewhat recently launched this Creator Studio, which allows you to do that within Facebook and Instagram. So you don't have to use a third-party tool anymore. You can do it right in Facebook, and it's called Creator Studio. I think the fastest way to get to it is going to business.facebook.com/Creator Studio. I think it's still a little bit in beta, so it's kind of hard to find.
Interesting. Here's one that's, would it be okay to add contest rules like by entering, you are agreeing to be on our social media posts?
Yes, you do have to check sometimes. Instagram and Facebook in particular, and people less, you can certainly do these things also on LinkedIn, on Twitter. I focus on those two because they're generally the most popular. But just make sure you're checking with the rules of that site, that you're not violating any of those rules. But as long as it fits their guidelines, you can ask people to do whatever you like, sign up for an email newsletter, follow your page, follow 3 pages, click on the link to your website, whatever you'd like them to do.
Okay. After these 30-day posts, do you repeat for the next month?
You can. You can.
Pick just a few and redo them and sort of scatter them.
Absolutely. Yeah. You can kind of use the same concepts, but change the actual content.
Okay. For budgeting purposes, what would be a 5-minute video cost for advertising your business?
I'm sorry, repeat that question one more time.
Yeah. For budgeting purposes, so basically how much would it cost for a 5-minute video for advertising your business?
Yeah, I have a not fun answer for you. It depends. But basically, it depends on what level of professionalism you want to bring to it. If you want a full-fledged professional video production quality with interviews and B-roll, that's going to be on the higher end. But there are certainly more budget-friendly ways to do it where you can do it. You can do portions of it or the entirety of it on your own. If it's just going to be one take of you kind of talking for 5 minutes, that's something you can certainly do on your own with that ring light and your smartphone and a small microphone. That's totally doable. But if you're looking for something a little bit more higher end, I mean, that's where you really have to think about, a chunk of your marketing budget going towards that big, high production value video.
Okay, here's a very interesting one. How do you share your accomplishments without sounding like you're bragging? Is this just the new norm? That is the part of social media that I don't personally like.
Yes.
That's very interesting. Yeah.
Yes, it is very interesting. It is true. It's a bit of it's very uncomfortable for some people. Absolutely. I think it comes down to really being careful about the language you use, being very grateful and thankful when you're sharing an accomplishment. But social media in and of itself is somewhat selfish. And so you are a little bit, you're kind of succumbing to that's what that platform is all about. It's about sharing your successes and making yourself look like you're the leader in your industry. And you should be proud of your accomplishments too. And you should feel comfortable sharing them because they're accomplishments.
It's hard to be humble unless you're wearing a sort of a robe and sackcloth, I guess. because you are excited about what you actually achieve. Here's one suggestion for online giveaway tools to help.
Okay. And the only one that I can think of top of mind is called, it's got a funny name. It's called Rafflecopter, like helicopter, but instead of hella, it's Raffle, Raffle. And if you look that up on Google, there are several competitors that will also, but that's the one I've used in the past. And they can actually tally and track all of those contest rules and giveaway rules for you. So you don't have to manually track those things.
Here's one. Be curious on this. I'm starting off as a pop-up retail shop with limited open hours to start. Should I still attempt to post daily or just around the days we are open?
I would not align your posting schedule with your hours because you never know when your customer is going to actually see the post. They may be scrolling in bed at 11 p.m. when you'd never be open anyways. But I think just being very clear in your Instagram bio, and if you have a website, on your website, what your hours are. That way, when they do follow your call to action to learn more, to call, whatever, it's very clear when you're open. Just make sure you're not hiding that information.
I think even when you post things when you're not open, it just keeps people's mind thinking about you for when you are.
Absolutely.
I just want to make a statement. We've had a number of questions about it's being recorded. Will the recording be sent to attendees? The answer is yes. And you'll also get the slides. Here's one. The difference between Creator Studio and Business Suite on Facebook. And I'm going to combine a couple of questions. They're all asking which platform should I use? And so I put a couple of questions together.
Sure. Platform as in which social media platform should their business be on?
Well, it says here Creator Studio and Business Suite. So they're two different things. So how do you choose which one to use?
As far as choosing a scheduling tool, really comes down to personal preference. It comes down to what platforms you want to be on. So obviously Creator Studio, which is Facebook and Instagram specific, will not be helpful on LinkedIn. So find a tool that works for the platforms you would like to be on. Hootsuite is a really popular one. Like I mentioned, there's one called Planoly, Planoly. There's another one I don't know how to pronounce, but it's Appfi. So there, if you look up social media scheduler online, you can find a plethora of options. The reason I tend to encourage people to use the Creator Studio, which is a piece of the Facebook Business Center Studio, they change the names all the time. The Creator Studio is a piece of that Facebook Business backend area. The reason I encourage people to use that is just because every time Facebook or Instagram updates their algorithms or their policies, sometimes these third-party tools get booted out and you can't use them temporarily. So if you stick with the native platform, you'll always have access and you won't have something happen like that. Hootsuite, I think, might be the exception. They generally don't get booted out because I think they have an agreement with Facebook of some kind.
Here's an interesting question. She's asking, working on my business plan, so looking to get an idea on budget for videos. I guess she's asking about a percentage of either sales revenue or I guess the capital that you put up when you start. How do you look at that?
Well, in general, my thinking, and everyone's going to have their own opinion on this, of course. My general thinking is that your marketing budget should be anywhere between 6 and 12% of your whole operations budget. So when it comes to that 6 to 12%, how do you want to break that down? How much of that are you willing to allocate for video content? And don't forget that, video content can potentially be very evergreen. So you can use it for years and years. So, while you budget for it in year one, maybe you won't have to budget for it in year two. And as far as social media content, video content goes, if you're not looking for it to be super high end, if you're comfortable using your smartphone to create it, that's essentially free, except for, labor and hours and time.
Okay. Here's one. Any suggestions on where to find gig economy social media help?
oops, I'm sorry, say, it cut out for me there. Say that one more time.
Oh, okay. Any suggestions on where to find gig economy social media help?
Yes. There are some Facebook groups that are filled with people looking to help you on a part-time basis. I also think going to local colleges and finding people who are taking social media management classes that are looking for small part-time work. And then the other thing is there are sites like Fiverr, which is Fiverr, I think. It's either two V's or two R's. Has very affordable people who are looking to help with those types of things. And generally too, sometimes I know people, wherever people find their virtual assistants, sites that are dedicated to helping people find virtual assistants, generally there's also similar people on there who are looking for work as social media managers, social media help. And don't forget, if depending on what your business is, it's also a great way to give your interns something to do, or your, summer high schoolers that may help you. They're the ones that are on these sites all day long. So they certainly don't hurt. It just depends on what level of professionalism you want with your help.
Okay, I actually use a high school student to help me with a lot of computer work, and they are right on top of it, let me tell you. Can you touch upon the TikTok phenomenon?
Happily. I love TikTok. I know everyone has divided opinions on it, but I have to say it's the new platform. It's what the kids are on. So depending on what it comes back to the original question of, you don't have to be on every site. You have to be on sites where what you offer, your audience is there. So if you are a lawyer, I don't think you necessarily need to be on TikTok. But if you make jewelry makers are extremely popular on TikTok. So I would consider it. So it does just come down to what sites you think your audience live on.
And here's one. I'm curious on this one. Is it a good idea or a bad idea to use the same post on all of your social channels?
It's a complicated answer. I'll answer it very shortly. If you have all the time in the world to create different content for different pages, that's better. Yes, it is better. Do it. I don't know any small business owner that has the time or energy to do that unless they have a massive social media budget. So I think you are going to do just fine. You're not going to do yourself a disservice if you post the same content on each. Now, the one thing I will say is make sure that maybe you are tweaking some of your language. So like on Instagram, you can't put a URL in an Instagram caption. It won't let that be clickable. So make sure you're at least changing those pieces, where on Facebook and on LinkedIn, you have clickable links. On Twitter, maybe you're using a short link, like a bit.ly link or something. And then on Instagram, you're asking people to go to the link that's on your bio page where there is a clickable link. So just make sure you're at least tweaking the endings so that there's no dead ends to your post if somebody wants to learn more.
Okay. We've got a bunch more. Hopefully you have a few more minutes. We've got a few more questions here.
Yeah, happy to.
If you're a podcaster and YouTuber, how do you get endorsements? Should I become a product ambassador?
That's a tough thing to do. That's a great accomplishment once you can get it. I would say focus on growing your following a little bit first, so that when you approach those potential advertisers or people who are offering endorsements, they can see you already have an audience that they want to tap into. So focus on growing your audience. And then I think it's a mixture of reaching out to those advertisers and also engaging with their product, shouting out their product, maybe without even them asking, or tagging them in your content. But definitely just doing your best to get your following up enough so that they feel confident that they're going to get something out of it on their end.
Here's one. This is interesting. When is the best time to post?
It depends, but you can find that information actually. I'm going to use the example of Facebook here. If you go into your insights page on your Facebook, you can see when your followers are online. So if you see a peak on Thursdays at 9, make sure you're posting around Thursdays at 8 or 9 o'clock. If you see that you're just dead on the weekends, then take the weekends off. You don't even have to look at them if you don't want to. That's a great way to also kind of figure out how often you want to post, how often you need to post. And that's something also to A/B test. So if you see like you have kind of a bump in a spike in the mornings and a spike in the evenings, post at both times and see which one seems to do better.
Okay. All right. I have only one or two more. Any idea/info for volunteering in the social media/small business realms? I would say if they wanted to volunteer small business, they might consider SCORE, but you might have some other ideas.
No, I think SCORE is a perfect place to help with that. You mean as far as donating volunteering their time to help others?
Well, I would imagine that's what they mean. And that's the case. That's what SCORE is all about. We have social media people, we have IT people, in addition to regular business people. And so everyone could help in that regard. Even you.
Absolutely.
from the Newtown Business Association. Here's one other question that's interesting. It's a video question, he says. You avoided any dollar info. Basic to professional, like 300 to 4,000 for illustration. I think he means is the amount of money you spend somewhere between 300 and 4,000
for video content. Yes, unfortunately. Let's see. Let me try and give you something a little bit more concrete there. So, if you are looking for, there's a spectrum of video quality. There is Hollywood movie, and then there's smartphone, and then there's things in between. That's sort of where I consider my work, for example, is sort of closer to the smartphone, but not quite Hollywood, but in the middle. And I think it comes down again to your budget, but your options are doing something on a smartphone that is just the cost of the equipment and your time. There's something like what I offer, which depending on the number of videos, the length of the videos, could be $300 to $2,500, maybe somewhere $400 to $2,000. It depends on the length of the video, how many people we're going to be interviewing, how long the shoot day is, how many hours of B-roll, which is like the footage of customers smiling and walking around and shaking hands and using your product. There's a lot of variables there, which is why this makes it a little difficult to answer. But I'd say somewhere between that $400 to $2,000 range is fair.
Okay. One last question. Could you please repeat those tools? The one that starts with PLAN and the one APPH.
Sure.
Just say them slowly.
Sure. It's there's one called Planoly, 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 and then there's another one that I don't know if it's AppFi or AppHi, but APPHI. They're third-party apps. You have to pay for them, but they do help with scheduling and planning out your content calendar.
Oh, great. Well, we're over our appointed time, but thank you so much. We've had so many questions that I didn't want to let any of them. Wait a minute. There's one more, if you don't mind.
There are a couple in the chat, Ed.
Okay, I'll check that too. It didn't show on my screen.
Yeah, there's a few in the chat, mixed in the chat.
Okay, I've got 34 on my regular Q&A.
Yes, I know. I have one if you want me to read it.
Okay, well, wait, I'll read her this one and then you take
Okay,
that.
back.
Is it correct that you can't pull your call to action link in your lead in the message for your LinkedIn post? Instead, your call to action or the link to more info has to be in a comment under the post?
I believe you can put a link in your post. Definitely correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you can absolutely put your link in the post. You can just put, if it's just directing people to your website, you can put, for more information, please click here, : and paste your URL, and it should kind of create a little pop-up box that shows like a preview of your website almost underneath.
Okay. Linda, why don't you read the
Yeah,
one you
I have
I've
one
got
in-
56 of them here.
Okay, I have a lot of testimonials on Google and Yelp. Is there a way to add a picture I took of my customer with the framed art that I got permission to add to their testimonial?
Absolutely. You could do that one of two ways. One, you can simply just post the photo and include their caption, include their testimonial as the text in the caption. Or if you want to create something kind of like I had on that slide, use a tool like Canva, Photoshop, and they actually have a lot of, on Canva, there's plenty of pre-made, essentially cut and paste templates you can use where you just pop in the picture, type it, copy and paste in the text, and you can save the file in a variety of different shapes and sizes depending on what platform you're going to be posting it on.
Yeah, I'll give you one more. This is kind of interesting. I'm starting a digital marketing agency. One of the challenges I have is developing the social media content itself, not only a calendar, but also the actual content ideas. Have you encountered a social media content solution that, I lost the rest of it. I'm sorry.
I think I saw that one come through. Have I come up with,
Okay.
found a solution to brainstorming the topics,
Right.
basically?
Yeah. Mhm.
Spending a lot too much time on social media, seeing what other people are doing, finding posts I think are really, really engaging and creative, and figuring out ways to tweak those ideas to fit my clients' feeds, their social media. So if I find something that I think works, I'll give you a really, really quick example. But one of my clients is a gym, and they I constantly looking on TikTok for what the latest fitness challenge is, and then I have the gym replicate those challenges, and that way they feel very on trend, and there's not a lot of thinking involved. It's just finding what's working for others. So it's a mixture, but that helps a lot.
Here's one. Could you please give the brand names of the equipment that you mentioned in the last slide that you put up?
Yes. Let me see if I could just so I can reference it here.
Yeah, that
The
one.
smartphone holder. I apologize for some of these. I don't have the exact brands, but I can tell you where to get them. I got my flexible smartphone phone holder was about $30 from Walmart. And if you type in smartphone holder on the Walmart website, you'll have several options to choose from. The ring light, the same thing. You can get them on b&h.com, which is like a photo video company. You can also go to the big bad Amazon and pick it up there, and they're very affordable. They can be $25 to $100 depending on the quality of the light. And then that microphone is, the company's called Rode, Rode. It's a great high quality microphone company. Now, obviously, this one I remember was about $75. This particular microphone. It's not going to do the same thing that a professional microphone, lavalier mic or something might do, or a boom mic, but it's absolutely going to increase the quality of what your sound is going to be just talking into your phone. It will be a little bit crisper, take out some of that background noise. I think it's worth the investment if you're going to do significant talking into your phone.
Great. Well, thank you so much. Linda, have you something to add here at the end?
No, just to thank you. We're having such wonderful comments come through the chat. Some people saying it's one of the best presentations they've ever attended. So Kelsey, we thank you for all of your information. And I see that you have the slide up. If anyone wants to contact you directly, you have your information, your phone number, and your email. So thank you again. We enjoyed it, and we hope to see you very soon.
Wonderful. Thank you all. I really appreciate your time today.
Thank you. Thanks to all of you for joining.
Right. Okay, this ends our webinar, so you may sign off. And as we said before, the copy of the presentation and the slides will be sent to you. Thank you.
Thank you.